We are rolling, I think. Yeah.
Oh, are we rolling?
Became rolling.
Okay. Okay.
Good morning,
Good morning, good evening, good night
wherever you're at in life.
on life's grand journey. You seem to be struggling with something under there.
I'm fidgeting.
He's fidgeting,
I'm fidgeting.
and it's under the table, so I don't know what it is.
I have something to show you.
Oh, no.
I have something to show you. You ready?
Hmm?
I made a purchase.
Yeah? Doesn't shock me.
Not a big purchase.
Oh, small purchase.
Small purchase. Small purchase, which requires, some finagling to show.
You've gotten a little far from your mic there.
Sorry. Small purchase that requires little presentation.
That's better. Far more intelligible.
Here's what I have to show you.
Oh, you even have, crappy Halloween hands that clearly you're struggling with.
I made a purchase.
For those listening, he is using plastic baby, Halloween hands
I made a
to
purchase.
hold up an obscure, off-brand looking
Oh, and it's not working.
box of...
This takes tiny claps to a whole new level.
Yeah.
Little claps.
Yeah. Little claps, big noise because it's plastic and hollow.
Little claps.
Looks like you bought some film.
I did buy some film. So this is Five Below, 10 exposure.
Talking about the retail store?
Yeah, Five Below.
Okay.
The retail store. Apparently they sell film. They even sell small point and shoot cameras now, which is why they're selling this 10 exposure color film.
10 exposures.
10 exposures, color film.
For those that don't know, that means 10 shots.
10 shots. Imagine only having 10 shots.
And with film, you don't even know if any of them worked.
It's probably not going to turn out.
It's
It's $5 film from Five Below.
untested film.
Untested. About to be tested. Anyways.
I predict you're going to have some good results from that. I'm speaking it into existence.
Time will only tell.
You're going to have to drop those hands. Those are creeping me out.
It's just for little claps. Just
Little claps? Okay.
Anyways, the reason I mentioned Five Below, so on episode 7,
Last week,
I made a formal apology. Apparently, I'm a criminal. At least to my 4-year-old, my 2-year-old. Well,
Yeah.
these criminal activities apparently run through the bloodline.
That's biblical. Sins today will transcend generations.
We were leaving Five Below, me and Cole, my 6-year-old. We have a 6, a 4, and a 2-year-old. Cole and I were leaving Five Below, and as I was checking out, the lady running the register asked if we wanted to make a donation to Toys for Tots.
Common.
Very common, especially,
This time of year.
Yeah, this time of year, we're getting close to Christmas and
Right.
everything and Thanksgiving. So they're making big donations and asking for donations. So me not paying attention, I give her the proverbial sure and make my little
Right.
selection for the donation amount. As I'm doing that, she looks at me and she says, "Oh, he gets a sticker."
Nice.
So, she gives me the sticker box
Right.
and not paying attention because I'm trying to put in my PIN for my debit card. I slide the box over to Cole, the box of stickers over to Cole. Think nothing more of it. We check out. We're walking to the car.
Sounds good.
Yeah, everything is all good. We made our donation, whatever. Made our purchase from Five Below, got my 10 exposure film that may or may not work.
I'm guessing there's a but here.
But we get to the car, and Cole looks up at me. He says, Dad, why did you give me this whole box of stickers? And he presents the box. He holds the box up to me. And I said, "Oh, son, you were only supposed to get one sticker." He said, "But you gave me the box."
He's not wrong. And what you just recounted, you did slide the box to him.
I did slide the box to him, not paying attention like any good dad. We have in our possession a full box of Toys for Tots stickers.
Still? Listen, I might have to burden you.
We're convicts.
I'm gonna have to. What is the word? Gosh, I'm struggling with my vocabulary.
I mean, we're probably on the run right now.
What's it called? I know what it is. I'm gonna have to guilt you
Oh no.
into
I already feel guilty.
righting this ship. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Toys for Tots is probably still going on.
They are.
Therefore, you still have time to head back down to the Five Below.
Cole has time to head back.
I mean,
to the
you
Five
can
Below.
do it as a collective, probably should.
I guess I'm guilty by association.
And
I guess I'm an accessory to the crime since I slid the box to him.
So
Daggone it.
you can go right this ship, give them the box back,
We
and
can right the wrong.
you can right the wrong.
It would be a Christmas miracle. I cannot imagine the financial losses that they are undergoing because of his stolen box of stickers.
It is stickers. Like, I get it.
Okay, maybe it's not that serious.
Not a huge cost to anyone, I'm sure, but
the principle of the matter.
It's
the principle
right?
of the matter.
And I think you'd be setting a great example for your kid.
I think I would.
Like, son, hey, look, we messed up, but guess what? There's an opportunity.
So long as
They don't throw you in jail.
Well, that I was going to say even before we get back to Five Below, so long as him and his siblings have not unraveled the whole box of stickers and precariously
If
placed
it's
them.
still reasonably intact, this box of stickers, I believe you've got a really good parenting opportunity there.
But we did.
I'm no Dr. Phil.
Inadvertently stole stickers, but it's still stealing, I guess.
Yeah. Which is one of the 10 Commandments that you're, not supposed to do?
Yeah.
So, anyways,
We're in trouble.
welcome back to Faith and Frames.
Welcome, everyone.
Who knows what episode we're on?
I think this is episode 8.
Ooh, Ocho. 8.
The Ocho. The Ocho episode.
I'm still floored that people are still listening.
If they're still listening.
Well, true.
If they're still listening.
We've only got metrics to go by in the past.
Up to episode 7.
And so...
Thus far, we've not been canceled.
True.
Although after the recent dabblings of my family and our criminal history, we may get canceled very soon.
True.
So if we do, it's been nice having you here.
But if we don't, which basically means if you're hearing this, then we didn't.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Today we've got a cool topic. Again, it's just Garrett and I. But we're going to take this opportunity to
do some
share.
Dissecting today.
Yeah, we're going to share some pieces
that we found valuable.
Yeah. And here's the funny part. It's on social media. But it's not...
It's not what you think it is.
It's not what you think.
Speaking of retro things like film, we're going to talk about something that's fairly slower paced in the social media world.
Good old LinkedIn. We've been finding some value there.
Yeah, some good information, good nuggets being dropped from people that we look up to.
We'll do that. We're going to dissect this intel, this information, share it with the world and the listeners. But until then, let's thank this week's sponsor.
This week's sponsor is not Manscaped. It is none other than Motion Creative Media. Us, Jared and Garrett.
That was a little
off. It's on the shirt.
Much better.
It's on the shirt. It's on the shirt. Here at Motion Creative Media, we want to inspire a love for active living through photo and video that moves your business forward. Thank you, Motion Creative Media, for sponsoring this week's episode. Thank you, Jared.
Thank you, Garrett.
If you're looking for video photo services for your business to move it forward, shout out. Give us the reach out, shout out.
Yep.
We appreciate it, and we want to help you.
Absolutely.
Jared, meat and taters. Let's just dive into it.
LinkedIn.
The old man's social media.
Not TikTok.
We're not dancing.
Instagram, not Facebook.
We're not gramming.
No. I mean, we're on there, but that's not what we're talking about today.
Today we're talking about LinkedIn.
We have found great value in recent weeks, actually.
Very recent weeks.
On LinkedIn. Specifically, we've got one post that we want to talk about.
I was going to say, I'm actually pulling that post up right now.
Good call.
We're going to dissect this post out there for our audience, whether you're listening or watching via YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, wherever you're at. This post, I think you're the one that shared it to me first.
Yeah.
But this had a profound effect on some ideas and concepts that we know to be true in the media world and in the social media world specifically, but that may not be totally understood by others who are not in the industry.
Yeah.
So if you want to read the post from Mr. Tim Stoddart, let's break into the value that we found from this post and how we think it can be valuable to our listeners today.
And truly, the reason why just a quick little backstory. The reason why this resonated with me and Garrett is us like no other, us like anybody else, we all struggle to find time.
Right.
And a lot of times, at least me personally, I have paralysis by analysis. I
Right.
will analyze something so much to the point to where I never actually take any action on something, right? Which is not good. But I wrote, actually on our website, there's a blog post that kind of mentions...
Which you need to go read if you're not reading the blog. I've actually gotten quite a bit of enjoyment out of it.
It says something to the effect of, I don't have time for social media. That's something that we hear all the time.
Something that we say.
It's something that we say. But this post right here kind of shows just how easy it is.
Yeah.
And how
how easy it can be. And you know what? I'm not even going to say easy. I'm going to say simple.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be.
Right. It doesn't have to be difficult.
Right.
It can be simple.
So, Mr. Tim Stoddart, we've discovered him on LinkedIn, constantly dropping great nuggets. And I'll read this real quick. One blog post, that equals 5 LinkedIn posts. One LinkedIn post can easily be 3 tweets, he says. 3 tweets can be an Instagram post. One IG post, which is Instagram, can also be a TikTok. One TikTok could also be a YouTube short. That's just one little nugget there. One Twitter thread can easily make a LinkedIn carousel. One LinkedIn carousel can easily translate and become an IG carousel.
Yes.
One IG carousel then can be a Pinterest post. Don't forget about Pinterest. We're not on there.
We're not.
But your business maybe should be.
I go to Pinterest quite a bit on my personal side.
Yeah. So one newsletter, continuing on, one newsletter can easily be a blog post. One blog post, once again, can also equal 2 Twitter threads. 2 Twitter threads can then become 2 full YouTube videos that you
Hit us
expound
with
upon.
the big one. Hit us with the big one.
One idea equals 100 plus pieces of content.
Boom.
He closes it out by saying create, repurpose, and repeat.
Boom.
So those are, I mean, whether you believe those numbers to be applicable to your business, your media accounts, whatever, that's irrelevant. The concept is true.
The concept is true, yes.
It can easily be one piece of content, one good idea.
One idea.
Can easily be repurposed,
Yes.
repackaged, because that's essentially what you're doing. You're
Right.
packaging it for another social media platform, whatever, to give your business another chance
Yeah.
at being discovered,
To hit new
reaching
eyeballs.
a new audience,
New eyes and new ears.
all of these things.
Well, I think the reason this resonated with us so much whenever you sent it to me, this is a concept that, we've never actually laid down in text form, but we try to practice it with a lot of our clients.
True.
One of our biggest techniques that we use is the repurposing of long form content.
Yep.
I'll give you a very recent example. We'll take Sterling, for example. We
Sure.
just shot a piece with them. Now, this is a medical group that do on-site nursing for bigger companies. Their delivery, so the content that we're giving to them was essentially a long-form video.
Right.
From that long-form video, we also promised in the delivery, I believe it was 5.
It was 3 or 5?
3 to 5 short-form pieces, and then some photo deliveries as well.
Sure.
So this is a concept, and they're not the only ones that we do this with, but the reason this concept is so powerful and so profound to us is this gives us the ability to stretch your dollar further so that you're getting more value from using a piece of content, whether it's with us or whether you do it yourself. Stretching that content further to where you don't have to conceptualize and come up with a million different videos and photo ideas. That's why this hit me right in the gut. I was like, these are things that we try to practice already, but I don't think a lot of people understand this concept and this thought process.
Right.
Especially on a very basic level when it comes to like a new smaller business or maybe somebody trying to build their personal brand.
Right.
We forget the fact that we can repurpose content.
Yes. Should.
That we should repurpose content. We forget that quite a bit.
Well, so that only speaks to video.
Yeah.
You're talking about one long video and we call it scraping, whatever you want to
Right.
call, whatever you want to throw in for the verb
Scraping,
there.
repurposing, whatever.
Repurposing, repackaging, shorter pieces from that. Those are just the video side. And what kind of opened my eye from Tim's post, there were a lot of text only.
Yeah, text only and then
formats.
photo driven.
Photo driven. So these carousels, specifically with Tim, he is really good at it. We'll probably dissect another one.
Yeah, Tim
later.
has some nuggets. He's got some nuggets.
So a tweet, right? That's mostly text.
Yeah, it's all verbiage.
Or whatever. So if you were to do a tweet thread, you screenshot that piece of content, that text. You screenshot the second one and the third one.
Right.
And so say that's 3 pieces right there. That is easily a very digestible but also very valuable carousel.
Yes.
And it comes across as a photo, but it's I can quickly read that.
Right.
I just swipe and I quickly get part 2 and part 3, and those things are so easy.
And that goes on multiple platforms. So your one Twitter thread or X, your one X thread.
Yeah, it throws me off every time.
Some people refuse to call it X, but anyways, your one X thread is now digestible on a photo platform,
Yep.
like Instagram. It's digestible on a hybrid platform like LinkedIn.
Yep.
It's digestible on Facebook.
Bingo.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
It's digestible anywhere.
Yes.
From that one text thread. And that is why repurposing is so powerful.
Right.
It's one idea that you had.
Yep.
You implemented one text in practice, and then all you had to do was screenshot it and share it.
Yes.
Love
That's, I mean, again, not to make it sound easy because.
But it's simple.
Yeah, simple.
It's not complicated.
It's simple.
It's not easy,
one
but
idea,
it's simple.
like Tim mentioned. He stated it was 100 plus pieces of content. To some people, that may be a stretch, but it can easily be multiplied.
I'd say 20 to 30 at the least.
Easy.
At the least, 20 to 30.
And so,
Especially when you're implementing text-based post, photo-based post, and video-based post all together.
yes.
I would see how easily it can get to 30 to 50.
Yes.
If you're really good at repurposing, sure, you might be able to get to the 100.
Yeah.
But it can branch so fast with just one idea. You don't have to concept a million new video ideas.
Right.
You guys that have been listening to Faith and Frames, you've probably seen it shared on our Motion Creative page. We scrape the podcast.
Yep.
For Instagram.
It's very common these days.
Yeah, very common. For any nuggets that we think are nuggets, you guys may think they're garbage.
True.
Anything that we think to be nuggets, we typically try to scrape into a shorter, more digestible form for our audience.
Because
That's kind of the world we live in.
it is. It's the world we
It's the
live
world
in.
we live in.
Because while Garrett and I will die on the hill of you do need your long form living room, you do
Yes.
need your place. I don't think movies are going anywhere.
No.
But you've seen a massive rise in episodic series, right?
Well, and even in traditional cinema, movies are not going anywhere. But you know what gets your butt in the seat?
Trailer,
A trailer.
which is
90
essentially-
seconds.
Yeah.
2 minutes.
It's very short. It's consumable.
It's not the full 3-hour movie.
It's enough to give you hopefully some value.
Yeah.
To intrigue you, to pique your interest, to encourage you to then go and get the full piece.
Well, it's the
Whatever
driveway to the living room. We use the living room as the example. That's your long form content. That's where your audience comes to congregate, gather, and conversate. But they have to have somewhere to park to even get to the house, get to the living room. That's where short form comes in, and it's very powerful.
So to practice what we're currently preaching here on this episode,
Yeah.
we are probably remiss, maybe missing out on an opportunity by not textualizing
Right.
some of these nuggets that are in video format.
Correct.
Because, everybody's different strokes for different folks. Some people don't enjoy consuming short form video. Some
Right.
people really like to read. Honestly, I used to think it was the dumbest thing when I heard people suggest and recommend carousels.
Right.
But now I find myself, especially if I'm searching for value or information, so easy to scroll. Like, say you've got 5 carousel,
Oh,
or
yeah.
5 pieces in your carousel, and it's like, okay, I read that sentence.
Yeah.
I read that sentence. Now I've got it. Like this is very valuable.
Well, it's very digestible too. If you think about it, I can put that same information into one gigantic storybook of a post that might be, a full paragraph, but on my phone it looks like a big storybook.
Right.
Or I can have little nuggets dropped with each photo. To me,
You make it easier on your viewer there.
yeah, it's more easy on your viewer, honestly, and this may sound silly. To me, it's more fun as a viewer. Because it leaves me a little bit of suspense between each sentence. Like, oh my gosh, what nugget is next? I swipe.
Bingo.
So it leaves them hanging enough to swipe to the next one. Versus if I see a big paragraph or two paragraphs, I'm less likely to stay and read. Now, with that idea, I do enjoy, and going back to our recent affinity for the old man platform, LinkedIn. One thing that I do enjoy is whenever you click some of their blog post links, they give you an estimated read time.
LinkedIn does do that.
Now, LinkedIn, I think, is the only platform that does that.
So far that I've seen, for sure.
But I love that. I love that about LinkedIn is I know exactly what I'm getting myself into when I click the link.
Before you click the link.
Well, yeah, before I click the link, I know exactly what I'm getting into. But I think, and going back to the text-based idea, I think even as recently as Brianna, our brand strategist, encouraging us to do a blog.
Yes.
I knew, I'm not a typer, so I was not going to be the one to tackle the blog. You are the typer.
Yeah.
I was a little bit reserved with it at first. I was like, I don't know if blogs are still alive.
Yeah,
but
it's 2023.
Yeah, it's 23, but hey, give it a whirl. I know you like typing, but honestly,
right.
I've gotten great value from the blog. And again, if you've not been reading it, head over to motioncreative.media and read the blog. Jared's been posting it, and I'm getting great value from it.
Well, so again, to practice what we preach, we're missing out because we're not going that one step further. Well, it's a little difficult because we're not on Twitter.
Right.
Maybe we could and should be.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Maybe not. You may not need to be on all platforms.
Right.
And that might look different for every business and probably does. But we're missing out by not putting excerpts, I think, into some sort of carousel.
Well, at least on the platforms that we are on, because we've chosen a few that we like to live on.
Right.
One is Facebook.
Yeah.
I think recently we've really taken a liking to LinkedIn.
Yes.
Obviously, we both enjoy YouTube.
Yeah.
So I think whatever platform you're choosing, that is where you can distribute those different pieces of content, whether it be text, photo, or video.
Yep. I think that is Tim putting it into text.
Yeah.
Basically solidified what we had always heard, known, preached to clients, but seeing it in text form and seeing those numbers, it was really reassuring to know that yes, this is the best way that you can be using your time and your content in the year 2023.
Well, it's powerful, and one thing too, and I don't want to glaze over this idea that you just mentioned. How do we choose where to place that stuff? Because I know one of the big concerns that are brought to the table for us is, well, yeah, I know that I need to be on Instagram. I know that I need to be on Facebook. I know that I need to be on YouTube. But do we really? Do we really need to be on every single one? Because for me personally, that's a little bit daunting.
Yeah.
And I know for a small business or a maybe an individual who's an entrepreneur, maybe wants to create a solo brand, that can be daunting to be on every single platform.
Yes.
So do we even have to be?
I mean, I think that answer is different for everybody.
Right.
And I think it's all going to depend on what is your goal with social media.
Right.
Is it to educate? Is it to grow a following? Is it to generate leads? Is it to
sell a service? Whatever.
What is it? And it's going to depend on your target demographic. You're
Right.
going to need to know. I think it's going to be very important at this point in our business climate / world to know who your target demographic is.
Yeah.
Age, whatever that is. You're going to need to know that, and you're going to need to apply that to your social media.
Yeah.
For instance, which it's changing, like TikTok early on, was a very young demographic platform. I would
Was
say
the Wild West.
the average age
Like
at
12.
one point, I don't think it was that young, but it was young.
Yeah.
But I saw a statistic the other day, which is kind of intriguing. That is growing a lot.
Yeah.
So that is raising, and that number is going up. But my point is like I would say, blanket
there.
statement. Facebook is probably an older demographic.
Agreed.
Than Instagram.
For sure.
Both Meta, right? They're both under the same umbrella.
Yeah.
Old Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
Different demographics. It may not be a good use of your time, energy, and effort to post to Instagram.
Right.
If your demographic doesn't exist there,
Yeah.
and you're not getting a good return, I would suggest pulling back the resources and the effort that you're putting there and reapply that somewhere else, or reapply that into some other aspect of your business.
Yeah. Well, think about this. I'll draw a parallel between just business branding versus personal branding, and we talked about this off camera.
Yeah. True.
One of my recent personal enjoyments, platform-wise, has been Threads.
Instagram
Threads. Threads to me is a photo version of Twitter or X. And the thing that I love about Threads is, and you said this, and it can be an advantage or a disadvantage, Threads is essentially throwing us photographers into a room together.
Right.
Which for me is fun on the
Sure.
personal side because I get to talk with like-minded people.
Yeah.
I get to see their photos. They get to see mine.
Right.
And these are pieces of content that over on Instagram are getting squat for engagement.
Yeah, they're not being pushed,
They're not being pushed. So they're not being pushed to brands.
which means they're not being seen.
Right. They're not being seen by individuals. On Threads, do I think right now that a brand is going to see my photo? No.
It's a new platform, though, so who knows? As of
platform.
right now, I would agree with that.
Right now, no. But what I love about Threads is the personal enjoyment that I get just from being in a room with like-minded people.
Sure.
And it's so specific. Like I'm in Threads with Fuji people. I'm in Threads with Ricoh people, which are all camera brands. I'm in rooms with film photographers. We're all seeing each other's work. We're all little claps for each other. So for me, it's fun. However, on the business side,
Yeah.
I know that it's not going to generate leads.
At least not today.
No, not today.
Again, it's a new platform.
So for the business, you and I, Motion Creative Media, one of the platforms that I believe, and I think you would probably agree, and we've mentioned it already, LinkedIn.
Yeah.
What it does for our business is it is a more mature platform to where we are in the room with other business owners.
Yeah.
We're in the room with CEOs.
Right.
We're in the room with marketing departments. And these are folks who can make a decision for their company to use our services.
Well,
I can't get that from Threads.
no, and so with LinkedIn specifically, I'd have to check. I don't know exactly how old it is when it came out, but it has shifted a lot. It used to be,
I've been on it since 16 or 17.
well, but it used to be a very professional.
Yes.
They weren't really a content post platform.
It was very clunky.
It was kind of just connections.
It was
was
industry specific. Like
it was
if you're
good for
building business,
hiring.
yeah, good for hiring,
Looking
good
at-
for connecting with other people in the industry.
But they've recently started to allow content.
Yes.
Now, the cool thing about LinkedIn specifically with, say, what we do,
Yeah,
it isn't littered with a bunch of memes
Right.
or TikTok dances or anything like that. That's not the content that's on there.
it's informal, it's educational,
Yeah,
and it's valuable to the industry.
right. The really cool thing, though, like you mentioned, is the people that are using LinkedIn are other business professionals.
Yes,
They are business owners, CEOs, presidents, all of these things. And so it is a great way for you to start building your community outside of its current bounds.
right.
And so, yeah, LinkedIn is really cool. I constantly get on there and I see both content in the niches that we've chosen and that we like to work in, but I also see pieces like from Tim,
Yeah, from Tim,
from other people that are kind of in our industry, right?
who's just dropping nuggets.
Yes,
just
but
dropping
I'm
dimes.
getting such value there, and that's why this piece specifically, this is something that we really thought needed to be shared.
Yeah.
Because it's something that we constantly have to educate people on.
Well, we have to reevaluate ourselves because,
True.
Social media platforms, they change. They change
All the
based
time.
on how algorithms are performing.
Right.
They change based on, maybe new ownership, XYZ reasons. So we have to reevaluate and again, just using our personal accounts and our business account as basically our proof of concept.
Yep.
We are finding that there is shifts that are advantageous for us and maybe advantageous for other small businesses out there. So if you're listening and this does resonate with you, I would recommend trying out different platforms. At least give them a whirl to see what works.
Well,
then kind of dial it in.
So kind of the whole thing, the problem that I think Tim's post may help people realize and solve is basically the answer of or the statement of I don't have time for social media, which is very, very true. You mentioned it's daunting. It is daunting. So even on our side, like if we've created a piece of content, we now have to go to Facebook to post it, caption it, go through the forms, go through the process, submit, post, upload, all of these things. Guess what you get to do? You get to turn right around and do that on Instagram.
TikTok.
You get to turn around and do that on TikTok.
YouTube Shorts.
That's just for video content.
Yep.
Okay. That takes time. And I'll not discount that fact. Business owners, especially small business owners, probably don't have that time. But
they don't. They're doing everything within their business.
Well, one thing that we have found value in recently, we're learning, but one thing that we found value recently, how we can add value for clients, is we've been offering social media management.
Yeah, management services.
So not only do we create the content, shoot content, edit content,
we distribute it.
We help with distribution because here is the unfortunate thing with algorithms and platforms that are constantly changing. You could have the best commercial, testimonial, whatever.
But if nobody sees it,
if it's distributed poorly, which distribution is posting, right? It's where are you putting this?
TV, social media, newspaper,
where is this
magazine,
consumable?
Wherever.
If it is distributed poorly, then it's not going to be as effective as it could and should be. You're not going to get the return that it could and should give you as a business.
Right.
So
I think it took us some time to learn that too. I think very early on, we described ourselves as, just content creators.
True.
Which solves one problem.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't have the time to create the content.
Right.
But I think even, this year especially, we've had to make a big adjustment because one of the things that we discovered, and this is just a growing pain of being in the media industry.
And the algorithms changed.
Yeah, and the algorithms changed. But, one of our growing pains was like, we have to solve more than one problem now.
Yeah.
And, and I love being transparent about this because, again, when it comes to partnering with companies, we want you to know we're in the trenches with you. We've had to learn these things as well. And these have been hard lessons over the past year that it's not just enough to solve one problem. Again, content is one thing, but we want to partner and solve the other problems too, whether it be distribution, captioning, keywording, all that good stuff. Those are things that we have learned are massively important, which is why we started utilizing that for our retainers and customers.
Well, because to the person who maybe doesn't understand social media, which is honestly most people on a day in and day out basis, unfortunately, if a post or a video that someone has commissioned us to create, regardless of how good it was or wasn't, if it performs poorly once they distribute it, unfortunately, that comes back on us. And truthfully, honestly, I would say that it should because
I can't blame them for saying, "Well, guys, it's your fault.
I paid you this money. You guys said this was going to do this or whatever, and it didn't." Yeah. Well, we would say, "Well, it's because you didn't distribute it properly," which is true.
But I think it's our fault for not explaining that.
It is. It's our fault. Yeah. So that's one reason. That was really the eye-opening thing. It's like, you know what? Yeah, if we want to be successful and we want to help businesses as much as possible.
We've got to solve a bigger problem here.
We've got to go the step further and help with the distribution because that is going to determine the success of our business, but also their business.
Yeah.
That's where they're going to see the return.
Well, I think the distribution has to be spread. Again, going back to, to Tim's post there, it has to be spread across multiple platforms that are working.
Right.
Again, I encourage people to try every one, and we've tried every one. But
Yes.
eventually, once you start dialing it in,
Yeah.
that's where things get fun, because then
Where
you
are
are
you seeing the most engagement?
Yeah, where are you seeing your engagement? Where are you seeing referrals, leads, inbound calls, whatever?
Yep.
That's where you can then hone in.
Yes.
But it comes from repurposing that content,
Yep.
going back to the very beginning of the
Yes.
episode, repurposing that content. We don't have to come up with bafillion ideas.
True.
A bafillion is a very large number, in case you didn't know.
Large.
We don't have to have every single idea. We just have to have a singular good idea.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes there's power in that. It goes back to the old saying of quality versus quantity.
Yes.
You know, when it comes to content, it takes a little bit of both.
Right.
But quality content, when distributed properly, will never, in my opinion, let you down.
Right. I would agree with that. There is a big push right now, and a lot of people will tell you you've got to post 5 times a day,
Right.
To be successful, to grow, to see return. And I guess that's an approach, and I'm sure there is some truth to that. But
it's an approach, but it's an approach that needs to be taken with a grain of salt. And I explained this to someone. I think it was actually last week. I got an email. Somebody was asking me about YouTube, and was asking, posting frequency. How often should I post? When should I post? And I told them, and this is advice that was given to me that I've tried to implement.
I think it's in a blog post of ours too.
It's definitely in a blog post. You need to post as frequently as you can, with the asterisk of so long as it's quality.
Yes.
If you're posting 17 times a week, but it's hot garbage, that can actually do you a detriment. That can be detrimental to your following.
Yeah.
Because they're going to turn off and they don't want to see
Yep.
anything that you're posting. Versus if you're consistently posting, let's just say twice a week.
Yeah, the frequency's down, but
Your quality.
Yep.
Especially on YouTube, that is going to be rewarded. I follow some very large DPs, and that just means director of photographies in the cinema and commercial world.
Yep.
Basically camera operators. On YouTube, one of them being Lewis Potts.
Yeah.
One of my favorite YouTubers of all time. Lewis does not post every week.
No.
Versus some of our other big heroes who post twice a week.
Semi-sporadic, actually.
Yeah, Lewis is pretty sporadic. But I can usually count on Lewis for giving me one video every month.
Yeah.
Not a huge posting frequency.
Yeah.
Lewis is following.
But it's quality.
It's quality. And I've followed Lewis from 50,000 followers, 50,000 subscribers on YouTube, all the way to, I think now he has right at 200,000.
Dang.
In not a very long amount of time.
Right.
I think this has been over the course of about a year to 2 years.
Yeah.
The dude does not post but one video a month consistently, but it's quality crap.
Right.
I didn't mean to say crap. It's quality content.
Yes, there you go.
It's not quantity content. It's
Yeah.
quality content. So I think the quality or the quantity thing has to be taken with a grain of salt. Yes, it's okay to post 5 times a week as long as it's quality posts.
And just to quickly tell a viewer/listener, what is quality? That's going to look different for every industry,
Right.
every account. But for it to be quality, or at least in today's society to be considered quality, it needs to be doing one of 3 things, possibly 2 of 3 things. It needs to be either informative, which can just be kind of like PSA type stuff. It could be educational, which at that point you're educating, obviously.
Yes.
Or it needs to be entertaining.
Yes.
If every piece of content checks at least one of those boxes, now if you can blend and do 2, 3 of those things in one piece,
Then you're a
that
unicorn.
right there is quality.
Yes.
That's what you should be doing.
Yes.
So maybe we've made some sense, maybe we haven't.
Maybe not. And just to clarify, just checked on Lewis's sub count. So he is at 142,000 subscribers.
There you go. So
Posting 1 time a month.
don't let, I guess to round this episode out, we started with the idea of one idea can be multiple pieces of content across multiple platforms.
Yes.
And that's an efficient use of your time and your brain and your energy.
Yes.
But if you don't have time for social media, if you're a business who says, I don't have time for social media, you're not alone. This should help you.
We're there with you.
This should help you realize, though, that it doesn't take a whole lot of time.
Right.
You can come up with one good idea.
I think
You
so.
can come up with an idea a week.
I think so.
And we just showed through his metrics there that can easily be multiple posts. But if you are someone, a business, who literally does not have the time, that is where we come in.
Yeah.
And we would love to help you.
We would love to help you.
We would
I will give
truly
you
love.
little claps.
He's got the claps out. He's got the hands out
Just
again,
for
guys.
reaching out. Little claps. Little claps. Give
We would
little
love to
claps
help you.
for reaching out.
And we realize that getting the piece of content created and edited is one thing, but
Yes.
distributing it is maybe more important.
I was going to say it's as important, if not more.
So that's where we help. That's where we would want to come in and assist you. Partner with you. We'll figure this thing out. So
that's the hard part.
This is the hard part.
I know where you're going with it.
Guys, give us a review. Rate us.
Stars and bars.
Leave us some sort of feedback on whatever platform you're consuming
Stars
this on.
and bars.
Truly, we read every comment.
And we appreciate them, good or bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
If we're crap, let us know we're crap. But if you like us and we have something that has resonated, we like to know that too. It lets us know that we're doing a good job.
Here's another thing. I'll take it one step further, and then we'll head off out of here. If you think you know someone, a business owner, a whatever, that we have just described, they may not be a listener.
Punt this their way.
Send this to them.
Yeah.
I kid you not. My goal in life is to serve people, and I want to help partner with businesses.
Raise that service bar.
He is those tiny hands. It's like a Burger King commercial.
Every now I get a little bit stronger now.
I didn't anticipate that. This is went off the rails. And since we're heading off the rails, guys, we're just going to go ahead and close this out.
So long.
So long, farewell to you, my friend.
And now it's time for so long.
That's Blue's Clues.
Yes.
I'll
sing just one more tiny little song.
I went, was it Gullah Gullah Island?
Yeah, it's Gullah Gullah.
We're dating ourselves. Anyways, guys, seriously, thank you guys. We appreciate you so much. We'll catch you in the next episode.
We salute you.
For those about to rock. See you.